There's a cloud hanging over Delphi, Indiana.
Someone has murdered 2 girls.
An unusual clue gave police a powerful lead.
One of the girls actually took video on her iPhone right before she was murdered.
But after 3 years, the murders of Abby Williams and Libby German are still a mystery. Why? HLN brings you inside the story with unprecedented access and key voices speaking for the first time.
He said, Carrie, they've found the girls. Are they okay? He said, no.
Who is that man on the video on Libby's phone? The one saying those 4 simple words that still haunt this town.
And that was the trailer for our new HLN production, Down the Hill, the Delphi Murders podcast. It's been nearly 3 years since someone killed 13-year-old Abigail Williams and 14-year-old Liberty German, bright and bubbly teenagers found dead on Valentine's Day 2017. Police have the killer's voice, his image, but still no suspects. HLN has followed the case from the very beginning, and now we take you inside the story like no one else can. Interviews with family members and law enforcement who have never spoken out. New insights as investigators pursue justice and down the trails that haunt an Indiana town. Let's bring in our own Susan Hendricks, part of this podcast. You've been to Delphi many times. It's still surreal. Can't believe this much time has already passed.
I know, almost 3 years, Mike, and I've grown close, as you know, to Abby and Libby's grandparents. But you're going to hear, for the first time with HLN, an interview with Libby's mom. And she is frustrated with the investigation, as you would imagine. As Mike said, we're coming up on the 3-year mark of the anniversary of their death. Also, in a separate interview, Superintendent Doug Carter speaks as well, saying he has no doubt they're going to find out who did this. Take a listen.
As you stand here today, are you convinced that this case is solvable?
Yes.
100%?
100%.
What do you say to the people who are frustrated it hasn't happened yet?
Yeah, I understand. I don't often say I understand to people.
You are not as supportive?
Not at all.
Of law enforcement? Why?
Well, I feel like they haven't done their jobs fully.
Did it complicate things for you guys that this is such a volunteer community, and when people heard, they just came out and started searching on their own?
No, it was awesome. It was awesome. Now, obviously the end result wasn't good, but there was nothing compromised by them doing what they did.
Yeah, they taped it off. But there were people everywhere. To me, that screams tainted crime scene.
With so many people looking for them that first night, why weren't they found?
I think I'll leave that question unanswered.
How long is the video that she recorded?
You can't talk about that.
Will you ever release more of it?
Oh, I hope so. I hope that once this person is found and there's due process, that everybody understands.
Do you think they botched it?
I hate to say that, but yeah.
Do you think this case will be solved?
Absolutely. Hopefully before I die. But absolutely. One way or another, the truth is going to come out.
Again, that was Libby's mom, Carrie, saying that she believed that the crime scene, because there were volunteers down there searching in the woods, that somehow it was tainted. The superintendent, Doug Carter, saying that is not true. The crime scene was not contaminated with the volunteers down there. And Mike, he also said, in all my years, in my whole career, never did I think that this would happen, that we would have video, that we would have audio, that we saw movement of that person on the bridge, and still it's not solved. And he said he believes there is someone out there who knows, saying we would all know our family members, the way they walk. Even if you couldn't see their face, you would know who it is. And he believes that someone out there is living in fear, knows it, but is fearful. And he says, we will protect you as we come up on the 3-year mark.
And I know you will stay on the investigation as well as our HLN team. And again, the Down the Hill, the Delphi Murders podcast will be available for free on Apple Podcasts. The first episode premieres February 5th.